Hey there, gamers! Mark the Lone Gamer here, welcoming you to our newest roleplay for Skyrim Special Edition. And this is, of course, entitled Starbow. It will be a stealth archer roleplay, starring our heroine here, Velvetine Starbow, our title character, who is a wood elf or a Bosmer, and she is an adventurer, a bit of a mercenary, more mercenary than simple adventurer. And she has come to Skyrim from beyond the border, searching for someone. Because she has issues, and she has a grudge to repay. Now, first of all, yes, her name is Velvie, Velve. That's actually short for Velvetine. Her full name is Velvetine Starbow. And to close friends, she answers to Velvie or V, or Vivi even. Only her family, particularly her parents or older siblings, call her Velvetine. Otherwise, you would do so on pain of death. Well, probably not death. Maybe a few arrows in the butt. Anyway, as you can see, Velvet here is starting off with quite a nice bit of gear. Her armor is Colovian style leather armor, which shows that she is not from Skyrim. She's a bit of a wood elf, so she starts off with fur leggings. It's a bit of a hippie look with the bare feet, which just shows, I guess, her being more in touch with nature and her being a bit stealthy. She does so because I guess she might prefer it. She might like the feel of the ground under her feet. But she will wear proper boots if she finds them. She actually likes fashion, and trendy boots might actually get her interested. But for overall, she will be wearing light armor. Now, this character has several conceits and conditions for being who she is. As we said, she is a Bosmer archer, slightly an assassin type, and a mercenary, a sellsword, or a sellbow, if you will, because for starters, as we have said, she, as a stealth archer, her primary means of operating and combat is archery. And that is her primary skill. Aside from that, her other primary skills will include light armor and sneak. And those three are her mains. Now, that said, one-handed, she will use one-handed weapons, notably a dagger, which she has actually a nice one right away. But she will only use the dagger as a last resort. If an enemy gets in too close and she just can't bash her way out of the situation, or if the enemy is like on his or her last legs and she just needs to finish him off. I don't think you can finish off an enemy with bash, so she can switch to the knife. Oh, wait, is that? She can switch to the knife if need be for that final hit. Let's take that off. Now, as for magic, this character is not a very magical character. As such, she will only use the most basic of healing spells. So these are healing spells that one can buy from the common magic vendors in the game, from the court wizards, from general stores. So she might go as high as close wounds, which I think is either apprentice, I think it's apprentice level, or adept. Aside from that, though, she will never use anything higher, because for starters, she will never go or join the Mages College. He is not that kind of character. And I think that's a first for me, because I always have my characters go to the college. This character does not like magic too much. He only practices healing spells because, well, I think it's accepted in the world of the Elder Scrolls, or at least in the world as per Skyrim, that healing, at the very least, the basic healing spell is a basic skill. Everyone has it, and everyone can use it if they want to, unless they're afraid of magic, in which you are Nord. Being an elf, a mare, even a Bosmer, Velvie at least has the natural ability for it. She just doesn't like it. She doesn't like putting or relying on it. She feels that it makes you weak. That you don't rely on your own body. You're relying on some ambient or invisible force or energy instead of your own 2 hands or 2 feet or your own body. But she does recognize that it is very useful in that you just concentrate and let the magic flow and your wounds disappear. And that cannot be denied. However, at this point, she starts with just the basic healing. So as she continues her adventure, she may upgrade those healing abilities with something better. And another thing is that, as we have noted, as she is not fond of magic, she will never put any perks into any of the magic trees. That is another rule for Velvie here. So what will we be left with? Of course, we do have, of course, we have archery. We are now level 5 at this point. So we have archery mastery. So at this point, any bow that she uses will do 50% more damage. And critical strikes will do up to 66% more damage. So that's a lot. She can really cause damage, especially if he hits from stealth. She has wing strike, where if she bashes with a bow, she will stagger her enemy, her target. And this will be incredibly useful, as enemies will want to get in close to her. And I have to learn that as well. I have to learn to turn and run if I need to. Too often, I find myself always standing and just trying to get another arrow off as quickly as I can. That should not be the case. I really should get into the habit of running and turning and dodging with this character, particularly because she is not that durable. And we also have long shot. So the farther away we are, the more damage we can cause. And this will be important because this is a stealth character. The more that she can damage an enemy, the farther she is, and from concealment, the better. Now, does this equate to a compelling story or a playthrough? I think it does, because it's a totally different style. Particularly for the role plays on this channel. I mean, we have like our current role play. Other than this is Light Wielder, where our character is a melee heavy character, and he's always in the forefront, always in the faces of the enemy, except when he isn't. And I think this is a very good change. This character cannot be in the thick of things. He needs to be far away. She needs to be hidden. She needs to strike from the cover of darkness, from the cover of a concealed position, or she has to position herself where enemies can't get at her. This could be the high ground, this could be some behind a barrier or something. The trick is finding these situations so she does not get killed in the course of her adventure. And of course we have sneak as well. We have put one perk into sneak. Now the thing is, what will differentiate Velve here from other rogue characters like Zephyr and Jory, or Zephyr in particular, is that Zephyr uses sneak and stealth not only to conceal himself but also as his means of attack. Basically, right now, being a master sneak, Zephyr can basically massacre and pretty much any enemy from stealth. If he gets the drop on an enemy from stealth, they're basically dead. Thanks to this power. Thanks to Shadow Warrior and everything. With a dagger, Zephyr is a beast. Velvie here does not have that same luxury. She is not a user of the dagger except for last resort melee, as we mentioned earlier. She uses stealth mainly so she can hide and get herself into position for her arrows. So she will use other perks such as dodge roll. She will use dynamic entry, I think. She will go through this line and the lines where she can sneak and get into position. Basically the character behind enemy lines, yes, but she'll stop probably here. I guess she can actually go into this as well. Basically think of the character as a sniper. And a sniper is not a soldier who should mix it in with the frontline soldiers who will be found along the other rank and file, who will be found among the close-in troops. He will always be somewhere else. He will be in the god position, he will be in elevated areas, and he will be striking at targets, striking fast and hard. And it is to his benefit not to be seen before it's too late. So aside from archery and sneak, we'll also have light armor, because Velvie will need all the protection that she can get. So as much as we can, we'll also want her to put perks into light armor. So those are her three main perks, perk trees. We can probably also consider putting stuff into lockpicking. Though really, I really have never found the need to put anything into lockpicking just to pick locks. But I think the perks here, such as the bear traps and the ones that allow you to get more treasure, I think that will be important, and I think it fits her as a sellsword, as a money, shall we say, a money grubbing mercenary. She likes profiting and getting more treasure. So I think these are important. It's also important for her to have these. I think it might be useful for her to be able to put in traps. The more traps and more stuff that they can do and lay these traps for enemies, the better. I mean, she can set these traps up against the enemies. Though this is just me speculating for now. I'm not entirely sure that we will do that. Just a possibility. Pickpocket might actually be useful. If she's going to be a very, very stealthy character, I think she can use this. Probably not to steal openly from people unless she needs something. I mean, there are things here that we can use, such as Death's Emperor, because you put this on a target, it will deal a lot more damage when you hit them with your arrow. So there are very specific perks that she can use in these other trees. She's not a thief per se, but a, an assassin, more an assassin, an archer who uses stealth to her advantage. And as such, she will also probably put in perks into speech because she is a bit of a... She can talk. She's a very persuasive Bosmer, very charismatic because she is a very attractive lady. I tried to make her as attractive as I can with the vanilla graphics. I haven't installed any mods which make our player character, as gorgeous as some of the females who have been modded to look gorgeous, unfortunately. So everything else is pretty much magic here. Smithing, we'll probably put in so we can get better gear. Block, probably not. This person doesn't really block. It will just... If we get better in block, good. But it probably won't put too much into block. Two-handed, probably not. So, yeah, as a last resort. But yeah, I mean, using two-handed weapons is too much of specialization, so no. She's really all about bows, she's really all about arrows, so we won't deviate from that. And so what is her story? As we have said, Velvie here is a Bosmer, sellsword, archer, and mercenary who has come to Skyrim looking for a person who has wronged her. Some time ago, Velvie, as in the course of her being a veteran mercenary, teamed up with another person, another adventurer, and she came to trust this person very much. They became very close until one day, while in the forest, she was shot from behind by an arrow. The arrow pierced her body, entered her spine, pretty much paralyzing her and throwing her into the river. Her story should have ended there. She should have been dead. At the very least, he should have been paralyzed for life, even if he did survive. But for the almost miraculous chance that she was found by a wandering cleric who somehow had very potent healing abilities, and he was able to heal to bring her back from the brink, and not only that, but mend her body. Even her spine, which ordinarily would have been incapable of being healed. Somehow this person was able to heal her and bring her back. Unfortunately, the damage done to her was so traumatic that even after she recovered and awakened several weeks later from a comatose state, she found that her trauma from getting shot in the spine had basically robbed her of all her skills. And that is why, at the start of this series, she is only level 1 with pretty much no perks in her skills. So right now, she is in the process of relearning everything by doing. And that's the fastest way she has found to relearn and remember all her skills. It's by throwing herself into the fray, going into adventures. And the more adventures that she goes on, the more people she kills with her arrows, the faster she's getting it all back. And that's our roleplay way of showing why she's level 1, though she's clearly acting, or the way she talks, she's not new to adventuring. Now that aside, some little things, I purposely gave her a bit of an accent, which is more or less inspired by Eileen the Crow from from Bloodborne. I'm fairly sure that's pretty obvious. That's where you get the Junta. I think it disappears every now and then. Give her an accent because my other female character in a roleplay, Silk, in the Deceiver roleplay, speaks pretty much without an accent. I mean, she's pretty straightforward. That's our way of differentiating Velvie here from Silk. So she talks more with a bit of a Irish, weird kind of speaking. I'm thinking that maybe one of her trainers, or maybe she was raised by someone who was Breton or a bit of forsworn blood. Some other background information on her. Her family's still around. They're just not in Skyrim. She is here alone. Her family is abroad there. None of them are in Valenwood, which is because they were driven from Valenwood by the Thalmor. And pretty much the family has been scattered. The Starbows have been scattered throughout Tamriel and Nirn. But they are somehow able to keep tabs on each other because they are a family basically of rogues and high-level assassins and archers. And so somehow they are managing to keep in touch. And Velvie here, she's probably one of the middle children. She has older siblings and a lot younger siblings. She's a very independent lady. She speaks her mind. She goes her own path. She doesn't need to have the family looking after her, even though they do from time to time. And from here in Skyrim, she is wanting to carve her own path. And that means, for one thing, answering the grudge that is lodged in her heart, as much as that arrow was lodged in her spine. She wants to find the traitor who wronged her, and he wants to carve her name into his flesh. How that's going to happen, what she's going to do when she actually finds him, well, we just have to watch the series to find out. So, stay tuned for more episodes of Starbow here on the channel. It will be posted alongside our current series, Light Wielder. And I do hope you enjoy this new roleplay and other videos to come here on the channel. This has been Mark the Lone Gamer with our new heroine, and we will be seeing you all in the next video.